Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're watching Vinland Saga Season 1, Episode 14, called The Light of Dawn. We found out some interesting information about your boy Askeladd last episode.
Woo!
He is half Danish, half Welsh.
/ Roman.
A direct descendant of King Arthur, aka Artorias.
The story just got a whole lot more interesting.
And he has basically pledged allegiance to the Welsh, saying he hates the Danes because of what his dad did to his mom.
So I have a question about this. And I don't want to go...
For the audience.
Yeah, because I don't want to go digging. We know that this is relatively historically accurate. Like, does this person actually exist in history? Or is this part of the storytelling? Because it seems...
Let's get our detective caps on, everybody. Let us know.
It seems like it could be true. That this could happen. And so I'm curious if this is not necessarily him, obviously, but the general story, like if there was a character like this in history. Somebody knows, somebody let me know, because I'm curious.
So, yeah, we've got that interesting dynamic. And they were granted passage through Wales.
Yeah.
And Prince Canute and Thorfinn are at each other's throats.
He gave him zero respect, which he's not used to. And I think, honestly, not that I've ever been royalty, but I would imagine if everybody is used to kissing your behind, having somebody be honest with you is probably actually refreshing. I've talked to...
It could go one of two ways, I feel like.
No, I get that, but I have spoken to people who have become incredibly wealthy over the course of their life. You hear the same story. Like, I'm still friends with people who knew me when I was not wealthy because they don't want anything from me. Like, we've been friends for that long. And I feel like there could be a similar situation going on here. So I'm curious to see how that dynamic continues.
I think they'll end up buddies. There's another prediction for you. Yeah, we're moving and shaking. We'll see how this story unfolds today. So let's get going.
Let's see if Askeladd can get the group through enemy territory.
He seems to just be a cockroach. Never die. So, yeah, he's probably going to survive. But let's see. Season 1, Episode 14 of Vinland Saga is coming right now. Winter is here. It has been coming for the last few episodes.
That ain't good for anybody. Oh.
神様、どうしても私たちは清くなければいけませんか？本当ですか？あなたの言いつけを守らない者は天使でさえ罰せられると父ちゃんが言ってました。私のような者にあなたのおぼし飯は分かりません。ただ私にはあなたの天の国はとても遠くに感じられます。
何の支度を手伝っとくれ。
行く、今行く。あなたが天に指し私たちを見ていらっしゃることが私には重荷でした。
エホバよ、願わくは我らをして汝に帰らしめたまえ。我ら帰るべし。我らの火を新たにして昔の火のごとくならしめたまえ。
つまり神父さんよ、あれだ、俺とこの兄貴がそうだ。ガキの頃から何をする時も一緒、お互い助け合ってやってきた。戦場での連携プレーじゃ誰にも負けねえぜな。
おーとも通過よ。俺が背中を預けられるのはこいつだけよ。
この信頼関係は銀にゃ変えらんねえよな、兄じゃ。
当たりきよ弟。ま、金額によるがな。
兄弟の絆な。
どうよ、当たり。
さあ、どうなんでしょうね。私の想像する愛とは全然違いますけど。
あのな、神父、お前は戦場に出たことねえからこの凄さがわかんねえんだよ。生死の最中のコンビネーションできんかお前に。
素晴らしいことだとは思います。あなた方兄弟にとってはかけがえのないものなのでしょうね。では私が戦場に立ったとしてあなたは私の背後を守ってくださいますか？
ああ、何言ってんだ。兄じゃとだからやれるんだっつーの。酒漬け坊主に背中任せられっかよ。
でしょう。だから違う。
すみませんが分かるように言ってくれやがりませんかね。
そいじゃあさ、それはどうなんだよ。あんたやたら酒好きだ。その酒は愛なんじゃねえのかい？
違います。それに私は酒が好きなわけではありません。
はあ？じゃあ飲むなよ。
すみません。
こいつわけわからん。
わけわからんのがいいのか？じゃあこんなのはどうだ？古株の相手じゃ今でも話に上る。昔俺らがフェローで船を襲った時のことだ。その船には戦士が一人乗っててな。これがもうめっぽう強かった。俺らは総出でかかったんだが、そいつ一人に30人があっちゅう間に素手で叩き伏せられた。素手だぞ。結局そいつは俺らが仕留めたが、後で損害を調べたら不思議なことに死者がいねえ。何だったんだろうな、ありゃ。
野郎確か剣を帯びてたよな。やっぱ俺ら舐められてたんだろうか。
だとしたらムカつく。つか戦士としての礼儀ってもんが。おろ
その者他に何かしましたか？名は何と言いますか？
名前は言えね
え。やっぱわけわからんちん同士で惹かれるものがあるんだな。その野郎も妙なことを言ってたぜ。本当の戦士に剣はいらない。とかなんとか。何坊主。おい、どこ行くんだよ、おい。なんなんだよ、坊主よ。今のは当たりか愛か？
戦士、本当の剣は必要ない。本当の戦士。
What is your take on that scene?
It makes sense that the Vikings would be curious about what this guy is talking about, that they would have conversations. So I'm assuming that happens. But
yeah, we saw the beginning of the preamble to that a few episodes ago.
I'm wondering if he's connecting a true warrior doesn't need a sword, to the biblical principles. That can be the only thing. He's probably...
Does he think that guy is the reincarnation of Jesus Christ?
Either that or a prophet or connected in some way. He's clearly looking for something, and I think...
No, he said that his life objective was to understand the meaning of love. Did he not? The priest, like 3 episodes ago.
I think you're correct.
And then those 2 brothers were like, "What is that?"
Yeah. Yeah, he must be thinking that this is, I believe, Jesus said he's coming back, so this is not that long after all of that happened. People, the priests of that religion,
1,013 years.
like I think the faith is relatively new at that point, all things considered. So they're probably always looking out for that happening and coming back. So maybe he thinks that. I don't know. I'm not 100% certain about this. What's your
There's
take?
a first time for everything, everybody. Our media master is also stumped. No, I don't know. That's why I asked. What do you think about the fact that none of the men were injured? Like, were dead?
We knew that, though. He didn't want to hurt anybody.
I know, but that's crazy that he could incapacitate that many guys. 30!
He is a true master. I bet you most of the skilled fighters could have done that. Like the elite, if they wanted to.
No, Thorkel, he's just a brute.
Thorkel would leave bruises, but he could probably not kill him if he needed to. Just swinging his tree around. That's his weapon.
Well, if he's not on the ship, he can't find it. Trees planted.
That's true.
The mast of the ship. They just sink. So they did decide to go for mountains.
海ならともかく丘の天気なんぞ専門外でしてね。冬の入りっぱなにこんなに積もることを予想しろって方が無茶ですよ。そんなこと言うとらん。わしは今貴様から月が離れとることを言うておるのだ。雪に合わせて進路を変えた途端これじゃ。貴様の兵も少なからず動揺しておるぞ。私の手下は修羅場をくぐってきてるんです。この程度のことじゃビクビクしませんよ。命令通りにスラスラっと動いてるでしょう。引き返せ。マーシや横断は無理じゃ。雪を漕いで進むんなら戦利品は捨てねばなりません。手下どもは納得しないでしょう。どちらにしろ今夜は露営は無理です。
アシェラット、準備万端だ。いけるぜ。
よし。
I need some sleds on that cart.
月の落ちとるときは何をやっても裏目に出るぞ。ラグナルだ。何をそんなにためらわれるのです。
I make my own luck.
孫友の襲撃、略奪は我らノルド人の伝統でしょう。天に弱します我らの父よ。私たちの日ごとの糧を今日もお与えください。私たちが罪人を許すように私たちの罪をお許しください。誘惑に合わせず悪よりお救いください。国と力と栄えとは限りなくあなたのものです。アーメン。
アーメン。
イエス様がそうしろとおっしゃったからさ。イエス様の言うことに間違いはない。
お祈りしないとどうなるの？
そりゃお前、不信心者は死んでから地獄に落ちるんだ。
そうだ。地獄は悪魔がうようよいる怖いところだぞ。嫌だろ悪魔。
悪魔怖い。
うん、父ちゃんも怖い。でもお祈りする良い子は天国へ行ける。よく覚えておきなさい。
なんかピンとこないな。もうじきみんな天国か地獄に連れてかれるなんて。
家族がバラバラになったら嫌だわね。
でも父ちゃん、どうして神様は急にこの世をお裁きになろうとするの？
急じゃないぞ。大昔から決められてたんだ。イエス様が復活なさってから1000年後ってな。つまり20年後。神様のお裁きで悪党はみんな地獄行きだ。
俺知ってる。悪党は天
おお、 あいつら超悪。きっと神様はああいう連中が湧いてくるのをご存知だったんだろうな。いいか、お前たちはイエス様の言いつけをよーく守って。うん。
おしっこ。
Is she gonna be the only one that survives?
どうしようどうしよう、悪魔怖いよ。
Oh gosh.
でも素敵。またはめちゃった。いくらするんだろうこの指輪。今からでもお金払ったら神様は許してくれるかしら。きっとあれは悪魔が誘惑したんだわ。お金もないのに市場見物なんかするんじゃなかった。私みたいな悪い子はきっと裁きの日に地獄へ落ちるんだわ。きっと家族の中で私だけ天国に行けないんだ。
I like it too much. 誰？ What do you think that this whole religious discussion is leading to? I feel like it's going to tie up in this episode somehow.
I mean, they all think the Danes are going to hell, and the Danes are going to come and wipe out this village.
I'm assuming they're not going to be living at the end of this.
No.
So...
I'm not sure. Like, other than just to highlight...
So, or maybe Anne will be alive and she'll be like, my family got murdered because I stole a ring.
Probably something like that is her guilt. I don't know where she's going to factor in. I don't know if they're just highlighting the difference in the two societies as they're coming together and clashing.
Or just how an average village person thought at the time.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's like context versus anything story driven.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be pretty.
さっきの話を聞いてなかったのか？ちゃんと良い子にしてないと神様が罰。
No.
チーズ。晩ご飯拝見。
皆さん逃げてください。この村は狙われて天神がこの村をセク様が死にてる。
あったけ生き返る。なんだここんちは。ガキが多いな。なんだねあんたたちは。
大麦のミルクがゆと干し肉が少々。玉ねぎ入ってる。おい、武器になりそうなもん押さえとけ。おう。
あ
マジひでえもん食ってんな、おい。
ちょっと何なのあなた。食べ物を粗末にして間違えた。
大丈夫か？おい。
なんだっけイングランド語で。
食い物全部。
ああ、そうそう。
なあ、おい、
おっさん、
おい、
ほら。食い物全部出せ。殺すぞ。
こんだけか。ガキ屋2人で一人前として50人ってことは冬越しの食料も50人分か。104人の戦士には足りねえな。
どうしようどうしよう、みんな捕まっちゃった。どうしよう。
Do you think they're gonna kill them all or just leave them to starve?
I don't know.
あんたは王子殿下の教師で一応この兵団の客だ。一度だけ許す。だが次邪魔をすればその場で殺す。俺はもともと坊主は綺麗なんだ。あんたたちはデーン人か。わしらの言葉の通じる者はおらんか。頼む、食べるものを半分、せめて半分残してくれないか。半分あればなんとか冬は越せる。赤ん坊もおるんだ。どうか。赤ん坊か。そりゃ大変だな。大丈夫。あんた方のことは考えてあるよ。冬越しの心配はしなくていい。本当に本当にか。本当さ。来年も再来年ももう冬越しの心配はいらん。あんた方を苦悩から解放してやろう。
アシェラ
This is terrible.
彼らは非戦闘員だ。
生かしておいてもこいつらに食わす飯はねえ。
Yeah, their
脱
food.
走されたら敵地の真ん中でもたついてることをチクられる。そいつはいただけねえ。どうだ、穴掘れたか。
おお、詰めれば62人入るぜ。
アシェラット、この者たちはキリスト教徒だ。だからなんすか。王子殿下の御ためにはこれが最善ですよ。はい、他に質問のある方はいないね。よし、そんじゃやろうども。やれ。
No!
So I can usually like rationalize the military decisions, but this is just.
This is the guy that you put in your bro house, dude.
Open your eyes and look at what you did.
He doesn't need to do this.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm like almost crying about it.
The crazy thing to think about is that this kind of stuff happened all the time.
I can't even tell you the number of times you said that during this anime.
I know,
But
but like
you're right.
no, I'm not saying it does, but like you feel the emotion watching this, and then you think about.
But the thing is, it's like the Welsh guy let him through, and he's just go. Are they still in Wales? Where are they? England?
They're in England.
So he thinks it's okay because they're in England.
This is how I think he's rationalizing it. He's going to take all the food. They're all going to die anyway. He has probably justified it that it is he's doing them a favor to not let them starve over the winter.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But just don't take their food.
Well, then his men are going to die.
I don't care. But like the babies. And what's Anne gonna do?
Probably have to run to the next village. That's hard to watch.
Yes, I feel sick. She's not gonna be okay after this.
Of course not. Well, in weather like this, she's probably not going to survive either.
No, I can't.
Kami sama 見ていらっしゃいますか。父ちゃんや母ちゃん、じいちゃん、弟や妹はそちらに着きましたか。やっぱり私のことはお召しにならないのですね。そうよね。だって私ドキドキしてるんだもの。あんなにも悪い人たちがいるなんて、あんなにもあなたの罰を恐れない人たちがいるなんて。指輪を盗んだあの瞬間みたいに、私は今ドキドキしてるの。
Wait, did she like jump off a cliff?
I don't know. Okay, oh.
I'm trying to put myself in that situation. Like, I think we can assume it was life or death for one of the groups of people. Like, would you be able to do that?
Yeah, but one of the groups put themselves in that situation.
I'm not disagreeing.
And the other
with
group was just like innocently living their lives.
Yeah.
What was your interpretation of her saying she feels elated now?
I think that she didn't really buy into the whole faith thing, and now that she has an example of people who are just doing what they want, she feels free. No guilt. She's gonna do what she wants. That was my take. They almost gave her permission to do whatever she wants.
Which is crazy. Like, I thought she would be so much more messed up.
I mean, she's probably
But she's like,
in
I
shock.
feel relieved.
Yeah.
That there are people who just like are living their lives without the fear of God in their minds at all times.
Yeah, that was heavy.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Like, I'm just kind of stunned almost.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to say.
No.
It's just highlighting the difference between the God-fearing individuals, which are like the typical civilians, and the ones who don't care.
Whose society is about the strong and survival and doing what you need to do.
Definitely more of like a tangential episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and because you start to like some of the characters, like Askeladd and those, and then this kind of brings you back to reality of...
So what, did you kick him out now, or is he still there?
I don't know. Give me a couple episodes. It's a little raw right now.
I'm judging.
I know.
But you allowed him in.
He was an interesting person. Yeah, I'm not sure. And I'm curious how long they'll have to stay here. Where they can't travel in winter. Like, I'm thinking they're going to stay here, they're going to live in that village until they can go. Until they can continue the journey. So whether that's all winter, whether that's until there's a little bit of thaw, whether it's not storming.
I'm upset.
I know. We'll have to wait and see what happens next episode.
There's nothing to say. We're unwell.
It's true. You're in the story and following it along, and all of a sudden it's like, well, this is what reality was like. back then in these situations.
Who were like, Canute and Thorfinn are gonna be friends. And then just got slapped with that episode.
Yeah.
Alright, I have nothing else to say. I need to go run away for a second. So, let us know your thoughts. Hit us up in the comments below. Let's all gang up on Adam for allowing that monster into the bro house, okay? We'd be so excited if you would like this video, even though the story was super sad and disturbing this episode. Subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for hopefully a less heavy Vinland Saga episode next week. Bye.